Hello and welcome to today's YouTube video. Today we are going over the third and final game of my chess tournament that I played on Monday, which was 3 days ago. I received an amazing comment on yesterday's video explaining he found my channel and then he watched videos and he left a very insightful comment about my analyses and my style of analysis, and it was very helpful because I'm not really used to analyzing games. I only do analyses every so often when I play a tournament, so it was very nice. So I'm going to try and follow the advice. But yeah, let's get right into it. In this game I had black against Perry, which is a very common character on this series. I believe I've played him in the last 3 tournaments, and I have beaten him every single time, but don't get me wrong, he is a very, very strong opponent, and yeah, he's just not in form right now. So d4, I play knight f6. I'm not really particularly playing anything different against him. I just wanted to switch up the move order to maybe see if he played something different than the Kali system, since I don't know, it's not very interesting to me. But I played h6, and the reason I played h6 is because I was watching a Gotham Chess, like Gotham Games video on his games channel, and he was playing a cheater, and he played the Kali system against the cheater, and the cheater had this setup. So I'm like, okay, a cheater played this setup, it can't be bad. So I gave it a try, and I don't particularly know the idea of h6, but it might stop something. So I tried it out. I wanted to do something different because I don't know. So at knight e5, I don't particularly know what it does because I've always been told not to move a piece twice in the opening, and that's exactly what my opponent did. So yeah, I just strike with c5, opening up my position, maybe preparing to develop my knight, bring my bishop out, and if he takes, then my bishop can come out very easily. So he plays c3, and I just develop my bishop. Maybe I'll take the knight, but f4 kind of just reinforces the knight, and you may notice now he is playing the Stonewall, which is not the Kali system. So maybe he's been watching a bit of Chessbrah and their new Stonewall speedrun, but yeah, I've also been watching it, but I'm not particularly well studied in the Stonewall, so I just try to play it normally. I know you're not really supposed to take the knight on e5, but I kind of broke that rule and did it anyways. f3, f6, or f5 would have been much better moves here. I feel like f6 would actually be bad because that allows the knight into g6, but f5 at least would stop the bishop. But yeah, f6 I feel like would weaken the light squares too much, and maybe he already can even just sack the knight. Like that's an idea you have to be aware of because of h7. But luckily I think I can actually just take, but I have to take with one of my pieces, because if I take with the pawn, that opens up the f file, and he can just take back with the f pawn, and I'm getting checkmated anyways. So yeah, I just did knight d takes d5. My argument was that, okay, my worst piece is taking his best piece besides the queen, so it can't really be that bad, and I don't think it was that bad. So yeah, he takes with the f pawn, which is very logical. That's what you do in the Stonewall. Open up the f file. So I played bishop back to e7. I don't particularly know why it wants me to sack the bishop, but okay. I guess it's not a sacrifice since en passant stops stacking the bishop. Anyways, yeah, queen back to e2. I don't really know why he played this move. I don't particularly know what he's trying to do. I think he wanted to go bishop c2 and then queen to d3 next. But I think he is a bit too slow. So here I activate my bishop. Okay, I'm going to turn feedback off because not a mistake. So I play bishop to g5. And the reason I do this is to activate my bishop. Of course, I leave side of this pawn, but if he takes it, these pawns become like pretty weak. So I wasn't really worried about sacrificing a pawn here. So yeah, I activate my bishop to the active diagonal that it has. I don't think it's a mistake, but Peter disagrees. So yeah, knight f3, very obvious move, just attacks my bishop. And here I finally find the move that I need to play, and I play f5, locking out this bishop. This bishop was way too strong, so I just needed to lock it out. And he just takes my bishop, and I take back my queen. So yeah, in this position, I'm like, okay, I'm probably going to be defending for a little bit, but I don't think my position's actually that bad. So I just I let him play his move, obviously, and he plays rook to f3, and I simply play bishop d7, connecting my rooks, maybe preparing to bring my bishop out to h5. This way, that was something I had on my mind. So yeah, obviously he's going to play rook g3. That was his entire idea, and he wants to attack with queen to h5. Now, there's nothing actually to be afraid of here if you look a little bit closely, because what's the threat? If I try and trade queens, he takes h6 pawn, so that means I need to be aware of this pin. And what's the way to get out of pins? And you know, what do you see like grandmasters doing in their games to defend their king? They simply play king h8. That's what I did, and I still think that's the best move. The reason I didn't go to h7, by the way, is because I didn't want to deal with any shenanigans along this diagonal. So I went to h8 instead of h7. So then he decides to develop his bishop. Maybe he wants to bring his rook over. I thought maybe e4 was a little bit more scary, like with sacrifices over here. Of course, I calculate all with e4 and sacrificing, and I didn't think it worked. So maybe he just chose more modest post because of that. So yeah, I played knight back to d8, and essentially I'm just like, okay, it's not really doing anything over here. So I'm gonna try and reroute it over to a very active square on g5, which it has access to another very good square on e4. So I think this maneuver was actually quite good. It calls it a mistake, but I disagree. So yeah, my opponent plays a3. I'm gonna be honest, in the game, I didn't really see what this did. I don't really know what the point of a3 is. First of all, I can play c4 and get a nice clamp on this b pawn so it can never push, because I just take on passant and that isolates this pawn, blah 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 blah. But I play this a little more concretely and played bishop back to e8. Again, I want to reroute to h5 potentially in the future, so that's why I played this, and then queen back to e2, and then now I develop my knight to f7. And I think this is basically unstoppable now, unless you want to play e4 and try and stop it with the bishop. But that gets quite complicated because I can just take, that hits your bishop, blah blah blah. So yeah, he tries to crack open the center with c4, and I'm actually kind of proud of my response here. I just took it. Well, why can't I just take it? It now isolates these pawns, which seems a little bit strong for me. So I take it, he takes back with the bishop, obviously, and now he has pressure on this pawn, but I can actually reinforce it with my initial plan, knight to g5, protects it going backwards. So I just put that plan into action, and he plays bishop back to d3. I don't particularly know why he spent time to do that right away, because this is blocked off, like this diagonal is just blocked off. So I developed my bishop actually this way, since this diagonal opened up now, and now I'm looking directly at the king. I didn't really see any particular reason why I needed to go this way, so I decided just to, okay, I can make my bishop active now, so why don't I do that? And I like my decision still. And he plays rook c1. I calculated b6, but then I'm like, okay, then I get an isolated c pawn, and maybe at an endgame that's bad. So I decided to just take, which it undoubles his pawns, so it's obviously like a concession, not a great move, but it's not a terrible losing move either. So yeah. The reason it's a mistake, by the way, isn't even because of that. It's because I just straight up blundered a skewer. I blundered this game. I didn't see it. Like, I just did not see it. But at least I follow up correctly. I play queen d7, bishop takes f8, rook takes f8. At this position, I'm like, am I even losing? I mean, look how active my pieces are. I definitely have compensation for the rook. Which is different than last game, which was yesterday's video. I definitely did not have compensation for the exchange. So he just takes on d4, which undoubles his pawns. It's a natural move, but it's actually a kind of a bad move because now my queen gets active too. So now literally all my pieces except for my rook are active, but hey, I can activate it on my next move. So I do that, putting pressure on the bishop. And he makes a pretty big blunder here, queen to e3. Now, there's a couple reasons this is a blunder. Apparently queen takes is also good, but I just played the very concrete and obvious move here, f4. Now, you're like, but that doesn't even fork it, bro. He can just take your queen. Which is what happened. And after you take with your rook, he can just move his rook. It's not a fork. What are you talking about? It kind of is a fork, because you see what happens is all these squares are covered by my pieces. And now this bishop won't have a defender, which is why he plays rook takes g5. So instead of losing a full piece, he just decided to lose an exchange. But I'm up a pawn now, and my pieces are slightly more active, and I'm still hitting this bishop. He has to watch out for threats of mate. So yeah, my position is very, very good here. But my opponent makes one last blunder because he was in time trouble, and he plays rook to d1. Computer doesn't call this a blunder, but I'm calling it a blunder because it is. I'm just saying it is. And the reason it is blunder is very concrete. It's just bishop to a4. And the reason that this is a blunder is because now he either has to move off a light square or he just has to lose bishop. For example, this is what I calculated. Rook to d2, and I simply go back bishop e5, and his bishop is pinned. He loses another exchange, or he loses a full piece. And then he has to trade rooks as well. So yeah, after bishop a4, he just decided to resign. He was too low on time anyways. So yeah, he just chose to resign, which is honestly kind of warranted here. But he did play a good game. He did definitely play a good game, and I definitely thought I was in trouble for a little bit there. But yeah, accuracies, I had an accuracy of 80.6, and my opponent had an accuracy of 76.2. Not bad at all. Definitely could be better with the amount of time we have, but I don't know the opening at all. So yeah, estimated rating, my opponent had an estimated rating of 1750, which is actually not bad, and I had an estimated rating of 1850, which is not bad either. So yeah, overall a good game. I always enjoy playing Perry, even though I've had black against him every single time we've played recently. But yeah, thanks for watching today's video. Don't forget to leave a comment down below, like and subscribe, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.